Well, Libya's neighbours, meanwhile, have expressed concern about the security situation at the border with their country. Let's speak to Jamal Elshayyal. He joins us live from Sidi Barrani, that's near the Egypt-Libya border. Jamal, tell us what's happening there. How's the traffic at the border?
At the city of Salloum, right at the border, as you can see behind me, this is the land crossing just a few meters away from Libya. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Egyptians who have been coming through the border in the past half an hour or so since I have come here, many of them telling harrowing tales of death and destruction inside Libya. There are also hundreds of doctors who have come from within Egypt, from Alexandria, from Cairo and across the country with medical supplies that have been, they say, flooding in from across the world. The military on its part here, the Egyptian military, has set up a makeshift hospital maybe 5 kilometers or so away from the border, where they are preparing to treat any wounded or injured people who cross the border fully.
Jamal, how is the security at the border? How are the Egyptian authorities making sure that not just anyone enters Egypt, that it's just Egyptian citizens returning home?
Well, as it stands now, the traffic is obviously only one way to a large part. No one is allowed to go into Libya unless they are either Libyans or, to some extent, some journalists. In terms of those coming the other way from Libya, obviously anyone holding Egyptian papers in terms of passports or other forms of identification are being allowed in, and obviously for them to, we have to bear in mind there is a large population of Egyptian expatriates in Libya, some estimate up to 1 million, and all those do frequently come back and forth. In fact, many of the Bedouin tribes here in this part of western Egypt, part of their clans are originally Libyan and spill over across the border. It's very well known that there is a close demographic and geo-social bond between the two countries. So the security that is in place is tight to a certain extent, but it is, in all meaning of the word, some sort of humanitarian. And there are, the main concern here is trying to provide, by the Egyptian government and by Egyptian NGOs, non-governmental organizations, medical supplies more than it is to assess the security situation.
The people who have been returning to Egypt, what are they saying about the situation inside Libya? Tell us more about that.
Well, there are tales of people who say that helicopter gunships and other Air Force planes were used to literally blindly bomb civilian areas. There are tales of mercenaries knocking on Libyan homes and slaughtering people. These are all obviously tales that I'm hearing. Many people have rushed to us with flash memory sticks and others saying that they contain images of these horrific scenes. We've only just arrived literally in the past half an hour, so we're still trying to assess and gather as much information as possible. But there is clearly a horrific tale to be told, and that's just simply before speaking to people. If you just look at the faces of many of the people who are escaped, it really does tell a picture of horror, a picture of war in all meaning of the word. What details there are, they will be unfolding shortly. As we all know, the Libyan government, the Libyan regime has cracked down tremendously on media operations there, on communication operations there, and therefore it is difficult to verify and validate exactly how bad the situation is. But if we are to take the word of those coming out, that situation is extremely bad, to say the least.
Okay, thank you very much. Jamal Elshayyal reporting live from Sidi Barrani there at the border between Egypt and Libya.